Hari Om, everybody. Welcome back. Let's get started. Om Ganana Ganapati Hawamahe Kavin Kavinamupamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanaspataan Shrunvannoti Dasadanam प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामविद्यवत् ॐ गणेशाय नमः ॐ सरस्वत्यै नमः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये वागीशाद्या सुमनसः सर्वार्थानामुपक्रमे यं नत्वा कृतकृत्या स्युः तं नमामि गजाननम् वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय कोटिसूर्यसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ब्रह्मानन्दम् परमसुखदम् केवलम् ज्ञानमूर्तिम् द्वन्द्वातीतम् गगनसदृशम् तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकम् नित्यम् विमलमचलम् सर्वधी साक्षिभूतम् भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि सद्गुरुं तं नमामि श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्य केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं यस्य सन्निधिमात्रेण सर्वे शिष्याश्च सेवकाः कर्मक्षेत्रे प्रवर्तन्ते चिन्मयं तं नमाम्यहम् Hari Om, everybody. Welcome back to our weekly Vedanta sessions. After a detailed study of Druk Drushya Viveka last week, we embarked on our journey through the study of our classic text of Vedanta called Viveka Choodamani. We saw a brief introduction about the author, composer of the text, Bhagavan Sri Adi Shankaracharya ji, and how in a short lifespan he gave us the Upanishadic truth of Advaita Vedanta. He also brought about the revival of the Vedic culture in India at that time. We also saw how all of the Prakarana Granthas we have studied so far, like Tattva Bodha, Atma Bodha, Bhaja Govindam, Upadesha Sara, Sadhana Panchakam, and recently Druk Drushya Viveka. It will help us in bringing about a structured evolution in our thinking and in on our spiritual journey. As I mentioned last week, Viveka Choodamani is a very elaborate composition of 580 verses, very poetic composition. We are going to study only selected verses covering everything in the text under some broad categories. So in every class, we will start with the Mangala Charana Shloka. Let me share that with you. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. In the invocation of this text we saw last week, Adi Shankaracharya ji offers salutations to Govinda. That is also Bhagavan Krishna. Govinda, as I explained last week, is also the ruler of my sense organs, the supreme being, who is agocharam, meaning cannot be known through the perceptions of sensory organs, one who is beyond the perceptions of the senses, human emotions, and the logical reasoning of the intellect. And in this verse, in one stroke, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji, he bows down to his Ishta Devata and also his teacher, Govinda Bhagavat Padacharya. Then we started with our first topic, which was the glory of the human birth, Narajanma, and glorifying spiritual life in Narajanma. We covered two verses in this topic. Jantūnām narajanma durlabhamatah pumstvam tato viprata. Jantūnām narajanma durlabhamatah pumstvam tato viprata. Tasmāt vaidika dharma marga parata vidvatvamasmāt param. Atmanatma vivechanam svanubhavo brahmatmana samstitihi. Atmanatma vivechanam svanubhavo ब्रह्मात्मना संस्थितिः मुक्तिर्नो शतजन्मकोटिसुकृतैः पुण्यैर्विना लभ्यते together जन्तूनां नरजन्म दुर्लभमतः पुंस्त्वं ततो विप्रता तस्मात् वैदिकधर्ममार्गपरता विद्वत्त्वमस्मात् परम् आत्मानात्मविवेचनं स्वनुभवो ब्रह्मात्मना संस्थितिः मुक्तिर्नो शतजन्मकोटिसुकृतैः पुण्यैर्विना लभ्यते. See, we have four Purusharthas under the confines of Dharma. We pursue Kama to fulfill our desires, pursue Artha to accrue wealth, all towards one ultimate goal, moksha. Right at the beginning of this text, Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya ji gave us these 9 rare blessings to glorify human birth and spiritual life in a human birth. He gave us a very clear roadmap to travel on this spiritual highway, and I put together this flow chart that I shared with you all last week. In the blessing 1, the baseline is all human birth and less evolved species below the baseline, like animal life, plant life, etc. And in human birth, Narajanma Durlabham, a very rare out of all the possibilities. Human beings alone are endowed with this faculty of self-awareness to be objectively being aware of our actions, of our words, our thoughts, and habits, so that we can do a course correction if need be. All other species in the living beings in this creation are programmed to lead their lives based on instinctive behavior. Then we also saw that the celestial bodies, like Devas, Gandharvas, and all that mentioned in the Puranas, are meant to exhaust bhoga, enjoyment. What makes it a rare blessing is that only in human birth, Narajanma, one gets this right mixture of joy and sorrow, sukha, dukkha, to develop that dispassion, vairagya, to pursue our ultimate goal of moksha. Then in the second blessing, B2, Pumstvam. We saw last week, Pumstvam or manhood here is referencing the manly qualities, firmness, perseverance, determination, detachment. So it is an intellectual evolution of manly qualities, not just a gender-based classification. Then to develop noble attitudes in life, Viprata, blessing number 3, is even rarer. Although Vipra means Brahmanhood, last week I clarified that the seeker at this stage has developed sattvic qualities, has become a disciplined seeker. Then in the 4th milestone, Vaidika Dharma Marga Parata, steadfastness on this path of dharma. Then comes Vidvatvam. He has deep significance in the scriptures, our Vedas. He understands why and wherefore of the Vedas, why we do what we do. Then comes Atma Anatma Vivechanam, to differentiate what is real, what is unreal, what is impermanent, leading to direct experience, Swa Anubhava. And then firm abidance in the self, Brahma Atmana Samstiti, leading to liberation, Mukti. This was the roadmap that Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji gave us from Manava to Madhava, from Bandha to Buddha. Then we saw in the third verse, which I call the M&M shloka, Durlabham Trayame Vaitat Devanugraha Hetukam Manusyatvam Mumukshutvam Mahapurusha Samshrayah. The M&Ms, so that you can remember it easily. Manushyatva, Mumukshutva, a burning desire for liberation, the capacity to surrender to a man of great wisdom, Mahapurusha Samshraya. All three he mentioned are rare blessings and are only possible through Bhagavan's grace. Daivanugraha. So far, what are the key takeaways? Human birth is very rare. Moksha is possible only in the human birth. By the grace of the Lord and as a result of our meritorious deeds, punya, we have attained human birth. Lucky for us, we have also stepped into the spiritual path. Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji gives now his trademark scolding in the next verse for those who are not walking this path. Let me share. Labdhva katanchinnara janma durlabham Labdva katham chinnara janma durlabham Tatrapi pumstvam shruti paradarshanam Tatrapi pumstvam shruti paradarshanam Yastvatma muktau nayateta mudadhihi Yastvatma muktau nayateta mudadhihi Sahyatmahastvam vinihantya sadgruhat Vinihanti asatgruhat Labdva katham narajanma durlabham. Having somehow attained human birth, that too tatra api pumstvam, many manly qualities of the head and the heart, shruti paradarshanam, having even done a thorough study of the scriptures, Now comes the hammer. Moodhadhihi. What did he say lovingly in Bhaja Govindam? Moodhamate, a man of foolish intellect, foolish fellow, like we say, he is holding on to asat gruha. He is clinging on to unreal things. He is clinging on to impermanent things, as though he is committing suicide. Nihanti. He is killing himself. See, whenever I read this shloka, I remember during our college days, one of the students had committed suicide. And this guy in our class, when we asked, how did he die? He always used to say he had committed self suicide. It's an oxymoron. We know that Atma has no birth, no death. Yet we use the term Atmahatya. Here, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji is emphasizing the point to bring in that sense of urgency. In fact, all of Bhaja Govindam can be a good reference here to leading a life in search of truth. Otherwise, it becomes a fake life. Faltu. But one might argue, sir, I am leading a good life. I go to the temple. I do seva. He might be going to the temple to eat idli vada, but I do seva. Are they not sufficient means for liberation? In fact, some of these shlokas are great advertisement for shlokas for our Vedanta classes. Let me share them with you. Vadantu shastrani yajantu devan. Vadantu shastrani yajantu devan. Kurvantu karmani bhajantu devataha. Kurvantu karmani bhajantu devataha. आत्मैक्यबोधेन विनापि मुक्ति आत्मैक्यबोधेन विनापि मुक्ति न सिद्ध्यति ब्रह्मशतान्तरेऽपि न सिद्ध्यति ब्रह्मशतान्तरेऽपि. One more time together. Vadantu shastrani yajantu devan. Kurvantu karmani bhajantu devataha. Atmaikya bodhena vinapi mukti. Na siddhyati brahma shatantarepi. Vadantu shastrani yajantu devan. Scholars, they quote scriptures. One might say, I do elaborate pujas. I do 3-hour puja every day. Elaborate rituals. I also do lot of social work, lot of seva, all karma. Even saints like Mirabai, Kabir Das ji, our Purandara Dasaru, Sant Tulsi Das ji, they've all said bhakti coupled with gnana are required for mukti. Atmaikya bodhena vinapi mukti na siddhyati brahma shatantarepi. Only by doing vichara on what is Atma, what is Anatma, what is their oneness, which is the essence of the Upanishadic Mahavakya. Only that knowledge will remove the ignorance. Otherwise, he says, na siddhyati brahma shattantarepi. Even if we do karma for a long time, Brahma shatantarepi, even for hundreds of Brahmaji's years, see in Bhagavad Purana, one day of Brahmaji is like 4 of the yugas, our yugas. It is like 432 million human years, it says. So at the end of the day, Brahmaji's day, if Brahmaji comes home after creation, whatever he is doing, and then Mata Saraswati just like asks him, how was your day? He is perfectly justified in saying, dear, it was a long day. Joking apart, the main point here is no amount of karma can give us moksha. Because karma is not opposed to avidya or ignorance. Only self-knowledge can remove ignorance. Just like darkness, no matter how much we clean, only light can remove darkness. Like that, in the next shloka, actually, he also rejects the idea of artha. What about wealth? If I have immense wealth, I have done very well recently in this crazy stock market exuberance. I have done very well. Can I buy this one-way ticket to moksha? Upanishad says, na karmana, na prajaya, na dhanena, yage naike amrutatvama. From Bruhadaranyaka Upanishad, when Yagnavalkya Muni, he wanted to renounce everything and offer all his possessions to his 2 wives, Katyayani and Maitreyi. Katyayani did not say anything, but Maitreyi, who was very spiritually oriented, asked, will all this wealth that you are leaving behind for me, will it give me moksha, immortality? Yagnavalkya Rishi replied, it was an emphatic no. He says wealth would help you with a decent life, as many others do, but will not give you immortality. All practices of karma, upasana, are all means to the knowledge. They culminate in knowledge, Brahma Atma Aikya Bodha. See, Shankaracharya ji is not opposed to karma. Make a note of that. When what he says here is actually echoed in the next verse, Chittasya Shuddhaye Karma, Chittasya Shuddhaye Karma, Natu Vastupalabdaye, Natu Vastupalabdaye, Vastu Siddhi Vicharena, वस्तुसिद्धिविचारेण न किञ्चित् कर्मकोटिभिः न किञ्चित् कर्मकोटिभिः टुगेदर चित्तस्य शुद्धये कर्म न तु वस्तुपलब्धये वस्तुसिद्धिविचारेण न किञ्चित् कर्मकोटिभिः Nishkama karma, selfless actions leads to what? Chitta Shuddhi, purity of mind. And by itself will not lead to the perception of reality. Natu vastu upalabdaye. When mind becomes purer, when a mind becomes less and less agitated, when it becomes lighter, when it becomes focused, chitta vichitta ekagrata, anything lighter has to rise up, has to expand. It starts to think higher. That is why when we say with purity comes clarity, it makes sense. Even Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi ji, also in Upadeshasara, what did he say? Ishwararpitam Nechaya Krutam Chitta Shodhakam Mukti Sadhakam. Remember his 3-point plan. I've shared this with you many times before. Upliftment comes only when we turn karma to karma yoga. When we dedicate the karmas to the Lord, it purifies the mind. Chitta Shuddhi. How do we divinize our actions? Kartavya karmas, obligatory duties. It must be done dedicated to the Lord. Arpita buddhi. Performance of worship of the Lord. Dasya buddhi. You are the master, I am the servant. You are the kartru, I am the karana. I am the instrument of your action. And when the results come, all karma pala to be accepted as his prasada, prasada buddhi. While doing this, we should also recognize the Lord as karma dhyaksha, giver of results, and to recognize him as karma pala data while receiving the results. Hope it is clear. Now, until now, we have covered a few topics. We saw that human birth, how rare it is. It's a great blessing. And moksha or liberation is possible only in human birth. Then we went through the second key takeaway is moksha is possible only through jnanam. All other sadhanas are sahakari sadhana. They're means to knowledge. Not only secular knowledge, not any secular knowledge, but Brahma Atma Aikya Bodha, taught only in Vedanta Shastra. So the seeker here at this phase has to make that transition from Dharma Adhikari, following Dharma, Adharma all this time, following Dharma all the time, to Moksha Adhikari, to that realm. He will study Vedanta under a guru in order to, in order for Shastra to be meaningful and doubt free. We have to study under a qualified guru. What are the qualifications of a guru? We will study that. Adhikarinamaशास्ते अधिकारिणमाशास्ते फलसिद्धिर्विशेषतः उपायादेशकालाद्याः सन्त्यस्मिन् सहकारिणः उपायादेशकालाद्याः सन्त्यस्मिन् सहकारिणः 15th verse अतो विचारः कर्तव्यः जिज्ञासोरात्मवस्तुनः अतो विचारः कर्तव्यः जिज्ञासोरात्मवस्तुनः समासाद्यतया सिन्धुम् गुरुं ब्रह्मविदुत्तमम् गुरुं ब्रह्मविदुत्तमम्. One more time. अधिकारिणमाशास्ते फलसिद्धिर्विशेषतः उपायादेशकालाद्याः सन्त्यस्मिन् सहकारिणः अतो विचारः कर्तव्यः जिज्ञासोरात्मवस्तुनः समासाद्यतया सिन्धुम् गुरुं ब्रह्मविदुत्तमम्. Now, the true seeker of self-knowledge has to approach a guru. Gu stands for darkness. Ru stands for the dispeller of darkness. Vedantic texts give two qualifications of the guru. Shrotriya. Number one who is very well versed in the Shastras, in this case Vedanta Shastra. Brahmanishta Guru. He has got experiential knowledge. Not a Mauni Baba, but is able to communicate his personal experience of the truth. How one should approach a guru is indicated by the word samasadhya. What type of guru? Daya Sindho. He is an ocean of compassion. See, if the scriptures are compared to this ocean, Guru is often compared to that cloud. Because ocean water is salty. You can't drink directly from that. So what Guru does, the cloud does, it takes the salty water from the ocean, converts it into a palatable rain, drinkable rainwater. Actually, we will cover a few more verses on how to approach a guru. Under the category of Guru Upasadana or Guru Upasakti. Here he is called as Brahma Viduttamam. In our invocation shloka, we say Brahma Vidvaram. He is firmly established in Brahman. Now, adhikari here means who is this fit student? Who is this qualified spiritual aspirant? Who is this qualified spiritual student? We will discuss more of the students' qualifications. Now, what makes him a qualified student? A lot of times we wonder. The teacher is the same, the textbook we are studying is the same. How come some students get it the first time? Even in Chandogya Upanishad, Brahmaji is the teacher. Indra and Virochana are the students. Indra goes back again and again back to the teacher to clarify his doubts, and he gets it. Virochana, at the end of the course, he walks away, he doesn't get it. So, just like any other secular knowledge, student, there is Manda Adhikari, a dull student, Madhyama Adhikari, a mediocre student, and there is Uttama Adhikari. There is an excellent, outstanding student. Desha Kaladhyaha. Although there are external factors like place of study in an ashram setting or in a serene atmosphere, Kala, time, time of study, what time you study Vedanta. These are all secondary, he says. Sahakarinaha. So, then what are the qualifications for this spiritual aspirant is covered in our next verse. These are general qualifications. Medhavi Purusho Vidwan. Medhavi Purusho Vidwan. ऊहापोह विचक्षणः ऊहापोह विचक्षणः मेधावी पुरुषो विद्वान् ऊहापोह विचक्षणः अधिकार्यात्मविद्याया मुक्तलक्षणलक्षितः अधिकार्यात्मविद्याया मुक्तलक्षणलक्षितः. Together. मेधावी पुरुषो विद्वान् ऊहापोह विचक्षणः अधिकार्यात्मविद्याया मुक्तलक्षणलक्षितः. He is Medhavi. Medha. Medha means he's got good memory. See, memory here does not mean somebody who is capable of reproducing all the mantras, memorize an entire text, etc. It is his or her ability to relate and recollect the experience. Remember, I have told you previously 3 R's: reception, retention, recollection. And he is Vidwan. Vidwan doesn't mean a Sanskrit scholar, but he is equipped with a good general knowledge. General knowledge of the world outside, certain amount of intuitive knowledge, Uha apoha vichakshanam. He's got an analytical mind. He is capable of grasping the essential and discarding the unessential. Meaning, he has got a spirit of independent inquiry. You know, the reason this is very important in Vedanta is all of us Vedanta teachers, we are taught to simplify things with examples, we tell jokes. But when the teacher is narrating that story, giving a message through a joke, or we should be able to grasp the essential message in that. A lot of times we remember only the joke and not the message. Or we remember the acronym, not what it stands for. You know, there are a lot of people, they are always confused, shaken by the slightest opposing point of view. This kind of spiritual path, it requires a lot of courage. It requires a lot of conviction. And student here is not a gullible fellow, meaning he is not going to get deceived by anybody and everybody. Now we have covered the general qualifications. What about the specific qualifications that one should acquire? To go on this spiritual highway, first we need what? To reach a destination, we need a GPS, Global Positioning System. Here, GPS stands for Guru, Parampara, and Shastra. Then I need to fine tune my equipment with 4 meters in the cluster. What are they? Vivekino viraktasya. Number 17. Vivekino viraktasya shamadhi gunashalinah mumukshoreva hi brahma jignasa yogyata mata. Together. Vivekino viraktasya shamadhi gunashalinah मुमुक्षोरेव हि ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा योग्यता मता साधनान्यत्र चत्वारि कथितानि मनीषिभिः येषु सत्त्वेव सन्निष्ठा यदभावेन सिद्ध्यति साधनान्यत्र चत्वारि कथितानि मनीषिभिः येषु सत्त्वेव सन्निष्ठा यदभावेन सिद्ध्यति. See, success in any field requires what? Prior qualifications. We know qualifications, specializations, they become more and more subtle as the nature of work becomes more and more precise. The spiritual field also is no exception for that. The goal of the spiritual seeker is the highest goal, infinite. He wants true happiness. It can only be attained by a qualified aspirant. Vedantic texts refer to this qualification required by the individual seeker is called sadhana chatushtaya, fourfold qualifications. I've shared this before. One more time as a refresher. 4 Ds of Vedanta. Sadhana chatushtaya. Viveka, differentiation, discrimination. Vairagya, dispassion. Shama, Adi, Shakka, Sampatti, sixfold wealth, 6 disciplines or virtues. Mumukshutvam, a burning desire for liberation. We will take each one, what shlokas to cover. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha Harihi Om Tat Sat. May all be happy. May all be healthy. May all see auspiciousness. May none suffer. Om peace, peace, peace. Now I'll open it up for our interactive session. You can unmute yourself and we will proceed with that. Hari Om.